This template provides an overview on how you can set up your Scrum process within Wrike. Throughout the demo, we will take you through 4 common scenarios that are relevant to all Scrum teams: managing bugs and backlogs, managing sprints, managing team meetings such as retrospectives, and last but not least, sharing plans with stakeholders. We will also walk through key elements the template offers, including how to manage different types of work that a Scrum team deals with, such as bugs, epics, and stories, via our capability called custom item types, how to use automation to simplify a team's work, and how to leverage Wrike tools such as dashboards and calendars. Let's start with what is contained within the template. There are several elements within this template. The how-to guide will deepen your understanding and how to leverage Wrike for Scrum teams. The main artifacts of a Scrum team, backlog, sprints, and team retrospective are captured within this folder structure. There is also a bugs folder that captures your incoming bugs that have not yet been triaged by your team. Finally, we have sample tools to help you manage the overall team and share your roadmap with stakeholders. When it comes to backlog management, in this template, we call out 2 different types of work: bugs that need to be addressed sometimes outside of the normal sprint cadence, and feature type of work that is prioritized and planned. When it comes to bugs, there are 2 ways they can be created in Wrike: manually or via request forms. You would create a new bug very simple within any view you need. You would create a new bug manually, for example, if it was discovered internally within the team. Very often you have, however, stakeholders that would submit bugs, such as support team or customers. We created a sample request form that can be used to be shared with stakeholders so that they have a structured way to submit bugs. Once the stakeholder fills in the form and they submit the bug, you will find it into the bugs folder that is waiting for triage. So now that we have the bugs in here, the next thing we will do is triage. So opening them up, I can see the description and everything that the submitter filled in. Also, how do I know that the bug has been created? I may not go into the folder every time. There is an automation rule being triggered, which is customizable, that notifies the relevant people that the bug has been submitted. So now that I have it in here, I want to see what I need to do with it. I realize that the importance is high and that this bug is critical, which means I probably have to plan it right away. It can't wait for the next sprint. So I can just easily plan this new bug into the current sprint without a lot of headache. There are multiple ways you can do this. Via drag and drop is just one of the ways you can easily move something from any folder to a different folder within Wrike. When it comes to backlogs, here we created multiple views for you so that it's easy to focus on the right granularity level. The epic overview provides you the high-level overview of what is happening on an epic level. So here we have the most strategic items that take multiple quarters maybe to even be implemented. So let's say that one of these particular items has changed the estimate in t-shirt size. So now it's a lower estimate than we initially thought. There's an automation rule being triggered that will notify the relevant people that the effort change and the due date should be checked if it's still applicable. We also have the story overview. Here we have items that are small enough to be included within the sprint. As you can see, the fields that are defined in this view versus the other one are different. You can customize this view however you see fit. There are different system fields that we have available in Wrike, which you can define in here. We also have different type of custom fields that have been defined, and you can just enable or disable them to show up in this view or not. Let's say that I see I have only stories, but I know that I always plan bugs as well. It's very easy to include bugs in this view. So from filters, I can define that I also want to have bugs, not just story, visible. So once I define that, then I will also see the bugs that are within this particular backlog. The next part will be about sprint management. So we have now a sprint that is being active, and let's say it's the end of the sprint, and we need with the team to complete the sprint. So I can easily move any type of work to completed status by drag and drop by using the boards view. You can use other views in Wrike to manage your sprints, but boards might be the most common way of doing it. So once I have completed everything within the sprint, an automation rule is triggered that will move that sprint to completed sprints. So these completed sprints act as an archive. What it means is that anyone can go in here at any time and check how many story points have been completed. This will give you the team velocity so that you can plan better in the future. We also have a folder for team meetings. Here you can capture all the meeting notes from retrospectives. You can also capture all the action items that the team has to complete and what is their due date. All the information that the team has can be visualized in the Agile team dashboard. So this is a sample dashboard that can be modified however you need. It has a widget that looks at the sprint work. As we just completed the sprint, now you can see there is no more information in here versus what you've seen in the initial part of the video where the work was present. You also see the team action items. These are things that the team committed to complete by a particular date, and it's something interesting to review from time to time with the team to make sure that we are proceeding further. And also you have the bugs to triage, because it's important to not miss any critical type of bugs. We also have the team roadmap, which is using the calendar application. There are multiple ways you can visualize this particular roadmap. You can visualize it in a monthly view, or you can visualize it in a quarterly view, or maybe you share a yearly roadmap with your stakeholders. Typically, this view can be used for road mapping purposes. It can be shared internally and externally with your customers. I've also mentioned a couple of times that many things can be customized. So let's see exactly what can be customized within this template. So starting from request forms, we showed you one request form to submit a product bug. In here, you can come and modify anything that you need to modify. There is another request form as a sample, which is submit a business case. You can use this one in case your epics, for example, come from stakeholder input. We also define several custom fields. So we have these fields that we believe are relevant for Scrum teams. However, you can easily modify them, change them, delete them, add new ones. We also included several workflows. There is a workflow which applies to action items. There's another workflow which applies to epics. And there's another workflow which applies to all the other items that the team is working on. You can anytime remove them, or you can change them directly into the account settings. And then we have the custom item types. You've seen that you can create within Wrike bugs, epics, features, stories, sprints. However, the best thing is that you can define exactly what type of work is relevant to your team. For example, you may not work with features, you may work only with epic, stories, and bugs. So it's very easy from here to define what type of items are relevant to your team. You can create new ones, or you can customize existing ones. So looking at the existing ones, what type of information did we include? First, we could customize for each one of them what is the workflow relevant. We could also customize what sub-items we want to have. For example, we defined a hierarchy that underneath a bug, you can create only a task. You can create an epic or a feature because it wouldn't make sense. We can also define what type of fields are visible so that you don't clutter the view. So we have here a few fields that are hidden. Let's say that you do actually track time for the bugs. You can easily enable this field and it will become visible to the end user. You can also define what type of custom fields or system fields you will see within each item. Let's say we don't want to see the ID, because it will be just too much information. We can easily hide it. We can also reprioritize and rearrange these particular custom fields however you see fit. You can also customize different automation rules. There was one that you've seen in action when a new bug has been created, followers and assignees had been notified. There is another one we created to notify the author when the bug is completed so that they can confirm the resolution. If you want to see all the automation rules that we have created, it's quite simple. You just go to the automation tab, and here you can see all the default rules we have created for epics, sprints, stories, bugs. You can enable them, disable them, and create new ones so that you adjust our template to your process. Okay, that concludes a high-level overview on how this template will help you use Wrike for your Scrum team. You've seen how you can effectively use the template to manage backlogs of different types of work, such as bugs and stories, how to manage sprints in Wrike, and how to bring everything together using tools and dashboards. Finally, how to customize everything and make it work for your team. Thank you for watching.